Hello, all my froggy happy friends. How is everyone out there today? I hope that you are free from stress and that you're not letting your worries get to you and that you're practicing your mantras and that you are practicing your, what am I doing? Affirmations. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd. We are on the 34th day of the year. This is the 34th lesson, which is titled The Source of Your Anxiety. I'm excited to get into that with you, but before that, I am Cassie. If you're new here, click that like and subscribe so you'll hear more videos like this. You're in Cassie's Corner, and this is where I go when I'm anxious and when I'm in crowds and things like that, and I don't want to have to deal with people. That way I can, I'm literally in a corner at this moment, but in a corner I can guide who is coming at me and how to I just get real anxious when people start to talk to me because I don't ever know what to say. I think that has been a lifelong problem of mine. I never know what to say. I was grown before. I was too grown for children of my age, but I was too young to be a grown person. So, I mean, I went through a lot, and I never knew what to say to anybody. There were a lot of times I know I said things that were just bizarre to someone, and they probably took it all wrong, and I just never I never fit in anywhere. So my corner is where I go when everybody else is in the room, kind of mingling. I'm just sitting back and watching and wondering what they're saying and how they're holding the conversation and how they seem so interesting. It boggles my mind to see everybody in conversation. You think I'm doing a great job here. You think I'm doing okay. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm glad. Thank you. But I really don't know what to say half the time. Sometimes I talk in circles. I've noticed in some of my videos, I do talk in circles. I just keep going over and over and over because I don't never know what to say. But that's neither here nor there. You're in my corner. You're in Cassie's Corner at this moment. Glad to have you here. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be reminded that I've dropped a new video. Share it with somebody. All those things to let YouTube has its rules, and it's kind of like a popularity contest. If I have viewer interaction, YouTube will recommend my videos a little bit more. I'll hit their algorithm and I'll reach more people, and it would be so wonderful if I could reach more people that way. It would be wonderful, wonderful. I haven't been monetized. I haven't gotten that kind of popularity yet. But it would be nice to have some sort of support, but that's not what I'm looking for. I am looking to just help people with depressive thoughts, people with deep, dark anxiety, things that a sad mind that is constant and they can't. All I can do is just offer tips and tricks. I am no professional of any kind. I've studied in the medical field, though. I am not a professional licensed medical anything. All I can do is give you tips and tricks and hints. You've got to want to be okay. You've got to want to clear your mind. You've got to want to have a better mind. If you don't want it, then anything I say is not going to matter. It's just, I'm just talking to the air. And that's okay. But at least someone is here saying, I am here for you. I want you to be better. I want you to understand that you do not have to live in sadness all the time. It is not permanent. I promise you, it is not a permanent situation. You can get over it. You can train your mind to be what it was at an earlier time. Like I always wanted when I was sad. I was like, why can't I be like I was when I was 14? When I was 14, I was probably my strongest person. I was conceited, for one. I'm not now. I'm definitely not conceited. Very humble. But I was very strong. I used to have people, you're so mature. Things just roll off your back. Nothing bothers you. I love that about you. Nothing, and I have no idea. It still boggles my mind how I got so deep and dark. Anyway. Hello again. I read from the Daily Stoic. It is a book. It is a journal type book. It goes from like January the 1st to December the 31st. And it goes in a journal type situation that way. But the Stoics, I think, have it right. Their theory is right. If we control our mind and we know what we can control, and we control our emotions and we control our behaviors, then, and if we keep our focus on getting those things under control, then there's no worry, there's no hassle, there's no anxiety, there's no other background stuff. Why worry about something we can't control? I can't control somebody else's behavior. I can't control what somebody else says. I can't control how other people behave. All I can control is what is in my circle of control. And that is a very, very kind of small circle in relation to the whole big world. I can't control the ocean. I can't control natural disasters. I can't control storms. I can't control the stars. I can't control. All I can control is me. And if I worry about the things that I can control, which is my behavior, my reactions, my feelings, my brain status, if I can control that and focus on that, then I don't have time to focus on everything else outside the world. We have children. We do have extensions of ourselves. I have 3 children. They are very 3 different individuals. I cannot control them. They're all grown. They're all in a relationship. They're all, out of the house age. One of them is not quite out of the house. But she is grown, and I've had to learn over the years to let it go. She is no longer 18 years old. She's actually twice that. She's twice 18. Why am I still trying to tie the apron strings to her hands? Why am I worried about what she is doing? She's putting a lot of stress on me, yes, in her behavior, so to speak. But she is not, it's not my problem. I don't know why I can't get over that. I know she is my child. I was always worried about my child. I will always worry about my children and my grandchildren. Always, 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 always. But her life choices are not up to me. They're not my fault. They're not my problem. That is a lot to do with parents. Parents are like that. My children are grown. Oh, I felt old. That hurt. Sorry about that. That really felt... That one stung a little bit. Hey, do you like my shirt? This is vintage 1970s. Unlimited edition. Or limited edition. And yeah, that's me. I'm limited edition. Everybody says I'm weird, but I don't care. I'd rather think of it as I'm odd. I'm a limited edition. Marilyn Monroe used to sign autographs, but when she cared about somebody, or when she was really... She barely signed and read. Read to her was love. She barely signed anything read. If you ever have anything signed by Marilyn Monroe and read, you have something worth a lot of money, because she would rarely ever sign anything in red. It was always black ink. So if you look for anything signed by Marilyn Monroe, I doubt there's anything in existence anymore, but usually if she signed in red, it was a personal nod to somebody. So, just a thought. I feel like that's what I am. I am I'm the odd one. It's more valuable. So, anyway, today in the Daily Stoic, remember, Stoic is a philosophy. It is a philosophy where the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks would think, it was a theory that they had, where they wanted to think that they had opponents, they had wars, they had battles of such, but they couldn't feel like they were making enemies. They had a system, this theory, in their mind where they weren't creating enemies so much as they were just having opponents. They didn't talk bad about people. They didn't... Marcus Aurelius actually wrote notes to himself, which ended up being books of Stoicism. Wrote notes to himself to remind himself how to behave in battle or in life or in everyday situation. They controlled their thoughts. They controlled their feelings. They worried about the things in their circle of control. So that way, they weren't out there amidst their opponents, calling them names, creating hate where it was not necessary. We create a lot of hate in this world where it is not necessary by way of letting our emotions rule what we say, by our emotions rule how we behave. All of this stuff, I'm not a political person. I really am not. I am not at all, because I don't feel like anything we are doing, we're voting and we're not voting, and that's what we should be doing, but it's not making a difference. There is so much hate out there. Everybody's worried about the ICE situation, and I have problems with it. I do, but I'm not going to delegate it to here because this is not the channel for it. But if it was them in their day, they would be more like, why are you worried about immigrants? I mean, there's more things to worry about. Why can't you worry about how you behave? Why can't you worry about what you're doing, what you're thinking? Why are you letting your emotions control your political beliefs or your political pull? They had that system. So a lot of these people, they were like in parliament, or they were in the government somehow, or they were, top ranked guys that had government pull that would not let their emotions rule what they believed. So, and they wanted to do it peacefully. They didn't want any underlying enemies where there was not any needed. They understood, we're in battle. These are our opponents. We've got to battle for the freedom to vote, or for lower taxes, or for low income, for higher income, or whatever the case may be. We have to have these opponents. This is part of how things are. But if we do not put our emotions into it, we do not put ourselves in the line of battle, then we're fighting for the real reason, not so much our emotions. So I feel like that is the best way to be. It is. It just is. You cannot put your emotions in everything. Everything does not deserve a response. Everything does not deserve a battle. Everything does not deserve an emotional, dramatic outrage. It just does not. It does not. I promise you, this has a lot to do with depression, because it controls where your sadness is coming from. You can control your sadness. You may not think so, but I promise you, I've had the deepest, darkest, ugliest thoughts that you can think as a depressed person. I have been there. I don't even want to talk about it. I've been there. I've thought everything that you're thinking and more. Why am I here? What is my purpose? I am not important. I'm not appreciated. I don't matter. I'm not loved. I'm not worthy. I've thought it all. And I know I'm throwing things out there, and you're just saying that. No. I actually thought these things. These were me. It doesn't matter what I think. My husband would ask me a lot of times, what do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? What do you want to do? What do you want to... I don't care. And it wasn't like what I said didn't matter. It just doesn't matter what I say. And now I have to be like, I kind of like a salad. Can I have a salad? Because my voice does matter. My choice does matter. My needs do matter. My desires do matter. Whether or not they come. I'm not saying be a narcissist, but I'm saying be proactive in the things that are good for you, the things that you desire. I'm saying make yourself known, because it is important. Okay? It's just as important as your partner having a say in something. I've learned not to have a say in the TV, though, because that's not going to work. I usually don't watch TV unless I'm here at night. In my office, he stays back in the bedroom. He watches TV there, and I have a TV in here. I can watch whatever TV, but as long as he and I are sitting in the same room, I don't have to worry about that remote. I know not to ask to watch anything. So, I've only had that TV for maybe 2 years. So it hasn't been long. I hadn't been in here long. But there were times where I would want to watch something, and he'd be in there watching wrestling or sports. A lot of times he watches sports. A lot of times. or he's watching like kung fu movies or something, and I'm like, I can't. There's something wrong with watching a foreign movie with English subtitle. I can't do it. I can't get into it. So, and I'm not saying anything bad about people of different origins. That's not what that is. That is not what that is. I cannot. I have an ADHD brain. I really do. Do not put subtitles while your mouth is moving out of the way. It's not making sense. It gives me a headache. I hope that makes sense, because I don't know. Anyway, the source of your anxiety is what we're focusing on today. So maybe we can help channel our anxiety somewhere else. There's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. And I'm not, bad anxiety is worrying about things that you can't control. Good anxiety is maybe anticipating a new purse, anticipating a new relationship, anticipating a new holiday coming up, or being excited about a road trip, or things like that. There's different kinds of anxiety. There's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. We have to experience anxiety, unfortunately. How we control that anxiety. Oh, I'm going on a trip. Let's back that up. Imagine you're in a classroom full of children, and you realize that they understand that the holidays are coming, which means that they have 2 weeks off for the holidays, 2 or 3 weeks off for the holidays. They are aware this holiday is coming. Something in their mind. No, it doesn't matter if they're special needs. It doesn't matter if they're kindergarten, first, second, third grade. It does not matter. They are understanding that this holiday situation is coming up. And they start acting out. It's just natural. It's what they do. The whole school, I've seen it done myself. They know that situation is coming up, and they start acting out. They start messing with their grades. They don't focus as much anymore. They're excited. That's also anticipation. But that is a good type of anticipation. They are excited to have those 2 or 3 weeks coming at home. Have I made myself clear? You're going on vacation. You know that you're going on vacation in 2 weeks, in 1 week, in 4 days. You're leaving. Everything about you is shutting down. Your motivation is going out the window. You can't wait to be able to get in that car and go to the port and get on that cruise or whatever it is. That is anxiety. That is anxiety. That is anticipation. There is good anticipation and there is bad anticipation. So we're going to focus on anxiety, and we're going to focus on the right kind and what do we need. Okay. When I see an anxious person, I ask myself, what do they want? For if a person wasn't wanting something outside of their own control, why would they be stricken by anxiety? Dun, dun, dun. And Epictetus said that in his disclosures. The anxious father worried about his children. What does he want? A world that is always safe. A frenzied traveler, what does she want? For the weather to hold and for the traffic to part, so she can make her flight. A nervous investor, the market will turn around and an investment will pay off. All of these scenarios hold the same thing in common. As Epictetus said, it's wanting something outside of our control. Getting worked up, getting anxious, nervously pacing, these intense pain and anxious moments show us at our most futile and servile. Staring at the clock, at the ticker, at the next checkout lane over, at the sky. It's as if we all belong to a religious cult that believes the gods of fate will only give us what we want if we sacrifice our peace of mind. Today, when you find yourself getting anxious, ask yourself, why are my insides twisted into knots? Am I in control here, or is my anxiety? And most important, is my anxiety doing me any good? Dun, dun, dun. I always do that when it's like, think about what you're doing. Is my anxiety doing me any good? Am I getting excited for the right reasons? Am I looking forward, or am I pained at this investment that I made? Am I worried that I'm going to be broke in the next 10 minutes? Anxiety. It is there. It is, anxiety is everywhere. There's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. It can serve you or it can break you. It can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. And a lot of people, when you mention the word anxiety, you're thinking about the bad anxiety. I never thought anxiety existed in my 13, 14-year-old mind. I'm like, this is bizarre. Nobody's anxious. Nobody's ever has anxiety, and everybody says it's that my anxiety won't let me do that. There's even a song called "My Anxiety" that was popular a few months ago, maybe a year ago, and I'm like, really? But if we think about what we can control, getting there on time, making sure we have all the essentials, making sure I don't know that I would have, if I had enough money, that I would have enough money to maybe sustain me as that other money, the money that I invested, was sitting there wondering if I was going to win it. If I had enough money to sustain me while this other money decided what to do, maybe I might invest, but that's neither here nor there. I wish I was good at investing. In 8th grade, I did investing, but we had pretend funds of, so to speak. We had to keep note of it, kind of home economics thing. I was good at it. I chose the right company, but I don't know that I could do that again. So, before you get all anxious and tied up, is it serving me? Am I getting anxious for all the wrong reasons? Am I being aware of the dangers of what I've invested? Will I invest again? Will I travel again? Of course you will. Everybody should travel. Everybody should travel. I haven't flown in a while. The last time I flew, I think we were in Hawaii. Did we go to Hawaii? I think that's the last time I flew. The first and last time I flew was back and forth to Hawaii. I do believe so. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was. It wasn't that bad. I don't like the crowds of the airports and things like that. And thank God I had, my daughters and my husband with me, so I wasn't too bad off. I thought I was really going to get up in the air and have a heart attack, and it didn't. It didn't turn out that way. So flying's not that bad. Flying, I'd like to fly a little bit more, maybe once or twice a week. Maybe once or twice a month. We'll go there once or twice a month. But sadly, I don't have that kind of job to let me do that. And again, I can't control the plane. I can't control the pilot. I can't control, what happens while we're in the air. So I'm going to have to control my behavior while I'm on this plane. So that is kind of where I kind of stick my mind. What am I controlling at this point? Where can I better use my anxiety on something I can control instead of focusing on all the bad things that could happen, that don't happen? Sometimes they do happen. But at least I'll be prepared. No. We can't think that way. We can't think that way. I hope everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope that your week is starting off so far in a positive light. Keep thinking those positive thoughts. Keep doing your affirmations. Keep thinking the best about yourself. Find somebody that you appreciate. Say it. Say anything kindness. Say it out loud. Make sure that your negative voices have been overruled by your positive voices. Find somebody you appreciate. Say it out loud. Just have a wonderful day. Make sure to control your brain. Control how you ought to behave. Instead of getting off your chair and trying to knock somebody out. Think about what you're doing. Think about what's the best way to make them wonder what you're doing. Put them in a position where they're on the spot and be like, oh, she didn't react the way I thought she reacted. So, now I don't know how to act because I don't know what to expect from her. Do that. do that. Throw somebody off their game. They're trying to get to you. You get to them. And you get to them in a good way, in a good, positive, grown-up way. And that's stoicism. I promise you. Control what you can control. And don't worry about what you can't control. You can't control other people. You can't control their thoughts. All you can do is control you and your thoughts. And I hope everyone has a lovely day. And I will see you next time. I promise. Bye-bye.